Seniors, 5 carbs you must eat daily, and 5 you should never touch. Most of us have spent a lifetime believing that bread, rice, or a warm pastry on the table is simply part of good living. These foods bring comfort, family memories, and tradition. Yet science now reveals a truth many of us never considered. Not all carbs are equal. Some of them, the very ones we grew up trusting, may quietly weaken the body, blur the mind, and speed up aging. Others, humble and often overlooked, can actually heal, fueling strength, protecting memory, and keeping independence alive. In today's video, we'll uncover this hidden truth together, and what you learn may surprise you. Before we begin, share in the comments where you're watching from, and stay with us until the end for the most powerful lesson of all. Now, let's begin by exploring the 5 harmful carbs first. Number 1. White bread. A silent danger hides in plain sight on the kitchen table. White bread, a food that many grew up with and still enjoy daily, is far from harmless. Although it feels comforting and familiar, modern research reveals that this refined carbohydrate can quietly accelerate aging, increase the risk of disease, and weaken the very systems that keep the body resilient in later years. The problem lies in how white bread is made. During processing, the grain is stripped of its fiber, vitamins, and minerals, leaving behind a product that behaves almost exactly like sugar once it enters the body. Blood sugar spikes sharply after eating it, forcing the pancreas to release large amounts of insulin. This cycle of rapid highs and lows creates inflammation, damages blood vessels, and makes the body less responsive to insulin over time. For seniors, these effects are particularly concerning, as they contribute to diabetes, heart disease, memory decline, and reduced energy. The numbers are clear. A large Harvard study tracking over 40,000 participants found that people who consumed more refined grains, such as white bread, had a 30% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who chose whole grains. That statistic represents more than risk. It represents lost vitality, independence, and precious years of quality life. Consider the case of an older woman from Pennsylvania who relied on white bread sandwiches for most meals. Over the years, she noticed increasing fatigue and blurred vision. Her doctor later diagnosed her with prediabetes. After switching to whole grain bread and adding more vegetables, her blood sugar stabilized, her energy returned, and she regained confidence in her daily routine. Her experience illustrates how even small dietary changes can transform health at any age. Nutrition is never one size fits all, which is why consulting a physician is important before making major changes. Yet one step remains universally safe and beneficial: replacing white bread with whole grain options such as whole wheat or sprouted grain bread. These provide fiber that slows digestion, protects against sugar surges, and supplies lasting energy for both the body and mind. Choosing whole grains instead of white bread is not just a dietary swap. It is a conscious act of self-preservation, a way to safeguard independence, protect the heart and brain, and ensure that the later years of life are lived with strength rather than struggle. Number 2. Sugary cereals. One of the deepest hidden fears for many older adults is losing control over memory, clarity, and independence. What makes this fear more troubling is that some of the very foods trusted for decades, foods marketed as quick and wholesome breakfast choices, may quietly contribute to the decline. Sugary cereals, brightly colored and sweetened far beyond natural balance, belong to this category of silent threats. The danger lies not only in the sugar itself, but also in the way these cereals are engineered. Most are stripped of natural fiber and protein, then coated with added sugars that drive blood glucose levels sharply upward. For seniors, these repeated surges can accelerate cognitive decline and increase the risk of dementia, as high blood sugar has been shown to damage delicate blood vessels in the brain. In fact, research from the Mayo Clinic shows that adults with higher sugar consumption face nearly a twofold increase in memory impairment compared to those who consumed less. This pattern is especially concerning because sugary cereals often appear innocent, even nostalgic. Many remember starting the day with a colorful bowl of flakes or puffs, feeling a sense of comfort and tradition. Yet what feels like a harmless reminder of youth may actually set the stage for fatigue, weight gain, insulin resistance, and even mood swing. A true-to-life story comes from a retired teacher in Ohio who began experiencing sudden forgetfulness in her 70s. Her doctor discovered that her morning routine of sugary cereal was causing repeated spikes in her blood sugar. By replacing the cereal with plain oatmeal topped with berries and nuts, her energy improved, her memory stabilized, and she found herself once again reading and teaching grandchildren with focus and joy. Personalized care matters, and not every senior will respond in the same way to dietary changes. However, medical evidence consistently shows that choosing breakfasts rich in fiber and protein, such as steel-cut oats, Greek yogurt, or whole grain toast with peanut butter, supports stable blood sugar, protects the brain, and sustains energy throughout the day. Avoiding sugary cereals is not merely about cutting sweetness. It is about facing the silent fear of decline with courage and replacing it with choices that protect memory, preserve vitality, and honor the strength of years lived with wisdom. Number 3, pastries and donuts. What if the very treat that brings a smile with your morning coffee is quietly stealing years from your health? This is the paradox of pastries and donuts. They seem harmless, even joyful, yet they carry hidden dangers that are especially threatening for older adults who wish to preserve energy, heart health, and independence. Pastries and donuts are loaded with refined flour, sugar, and often trans fats. This combination creates a metabolic storm, a rapid surge in blood sugar followed by a sudden crash, leaving the body tired and craving more. For seniors, these roller coaster swings are not only exhausting but also dangerous. The American Heart Association has repeatedly warned that trans fats common in fried baked goods raise LDL cholesterol while lowering protective HDL cholesterol, doubling the risk of heart attack or stroke. This risk becomes even greater after the age of 60 when blood vessels are naturally less flexible and more vulnerable to damage. Beyond the heart, these foods accelerate inflammation throughout the body. Chronic inflammation is a silent driver of many conditions associated with aging, from arthritis to cognitive decline. A study published in Neurology linked diets high in pastries and other refined foods with faster rates of brain shrinkage and memory loss. What seems like a small indulgence, therefore, may carry lifelong consequences. The emotional connection cannot be ignored. Many seniors grew up with the simple comfort of a glazed donut on Sunday mornings or a warm slice of pastry from a local bakery. These memories are deeply human and meaningful. Yet the wisdom of aging lies in choosing joy that nourishes rather than harms. A retired nurse from California once described her turning point. After years of fatigue, she gave up her daily pastry and switched to whole grain toast with avocado and a boiled egg. Within weeks, she reported clearer focus, steadier energy, and even a reduction in joint pain. The key is not deprivation but transformation. Replace pastries and donuts with alternatives that still bring comfort: a slice of whole grain banana bread made at home with less sugar, or baked apples sprinkled with cinnamon. These swaps keep the pleasure of tradition while protecting the heart, brain, and energy that allows seniors to live fully. Pastries and donuts ask a powerful question. Is a fleeting taste worth the cost of vitality? Choosing wisely means answering with courage, self-respect, and love for the years ahead. Number 4, white rice. Have you ever wondered why a food that has been a staple for billions worldwide could quietly harm seniors in America when eaten too often? White rice, though soft and comforting on the plate, carries hidden risks for aging bodies. Once the outer bran and germ are stripped away during processing, what remains is a simple starch that behaves almost identically to pure sugar inside the body. For older adults, this rapid digestion can trigger sharp blood sugar spikes followed by sudden crashes, a pattern that drains energy, strains the pancreas, and accelerates the onset of type 2 diabetes. The danger of white rice lies in its deceptive simplicity. While it feels light and easy to digest, its high glycemic index pushes glucose into the bloodstream at lightning speed. Over the years, this constant stress on insulin response inflames blood vessels, increasing the risk of heart disease, neuropathy, and even cognitive decline. In a large-scale study by Harvard, researchers followed more than 350,000 participants and found that those who consumed white rice regularly had a significantly higher risk of diabetes, especially when eating it more than 5 times times a week. For seniors, whose bodies are already more vulnerable to metabolic imbalance, this risk multiplies. There is the story of an elderly woman from California who grew up eating white rice at nearly every meal. In her late 60s, she began experiencing fatigue, blurred vision, and numbness in her feet. Her physician explained that her blood sugar patterns resembled those of much younger patients with uncontrolled diabetes. When she transitioned to brown rice and incorporated more fiber-rich foods like quinoa and barley, not only did her glucose stabilize, but her energy and mental clarity improved within months. Her case is a reminder that it is never too late to make changes that protect the body and restore independence. Safety in nutrition means tailoring choices to each individual. Not every senior must completely avoid rice, but choosing alternatives such as brown rice, wild rice, or even mixing half white rice with quinoa can slow digestion and protect long-term health. The simple act of swapping refined grains for whole grains is not a restriction, but a safeguard, a way to preserve energy, protect memory, and extend the joy of living vibrantly into the golden years. Number 5. Soda and sugary drinks. Dr. Walter Willett, a leading nutrition researcher at Harvard, once warned that sugary drinks are liquid candy with devastating consequences. This simple yet powerful statement captures the hidden danger that so many overlook. For seniors, soda and other sweetened beverages are more than just an occasional treat. They are a direct assault on aging cells, speeding up decline in ways that are both silent and severe. One of the greatest risks is the rapid flood of sugar into the bloodstream. A single can of soda contains around 39 grams of sugar, far more than the body of an older adult can process efficiently. Unlike solid foods, liquid sugars bypass the normal satiety signals, leading to overconsumption without fullness. This creates a cycle of weight gain, insulin resistance, and chronic inflammation. Over time, these changes accelerate heart disease, impair memory, and weaken the immune system. Studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that people who drink just one sugary soda daily have a 26% greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who rarely drink them. For seniors, whose metabolism slows with age, that risk becomes even more pronounced. Consider the story of a retired teacher in Texas who enjoyed 2 cans of soda each day for decades, believing it was harmless compared to desserts. By his early 70s, he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and developed complications affecting his kidneys and eyes. When he finally gave up soda and replaced it with water, unsweetened iced tea and sparkling water with lemon, his blood sugar improved, his energy returned, and his doctors noticed a remarkable turnaround. His journey is proof that change at any stage of life can restore vitality. The message here is not about fear, but empowerment. Every senior has the ability to choose beverages that nourish rather than damage. Water, herbal teas, and naturally flavored sparkling waters refresh without hidden harm, supporting hydration, joint function, and brain health. Choosing wisely is not deprivation, it is a deliberate step toward protecting independence, clarity, and joy. The golden years deserve to be fueled by care, not compromised by a sweet illusion that steals more than it gives. The truth about the 5 harmful carbs, white bread, sugary cereals, pastries and donuts, white rice and sodas, is that they offer comfort on the surface while quietly stealing vitality beneath. They spike blood sugar, inflame the body, and slowly chip away at memory, balance, and independence. But knowledge is power, and awareness opens the door to change. The beauty of nutrition is that while some foods harm, others hold the key to healing. By embracing the right carbs, you can protect your heart, sharpen your mind, and keep your legs strong. Now, let's move forward and discover the 5 carbs that truly heal and restore. Number 1, oats. Several years ago, a woman in her late 60s from Vermont shared how a simple change in her breakfast transformed her life. For decades, she had started her mornings with coffee and toast, often feeling tired and sluggish before noon. When a doctor suggested replacing white bread with a warm bowl of oatmeal topped with berries, she reluctantly agreed. Within weeks, she noticed a steady energy she had not felt in years. Her blood sugar levels improved, and even her cholesterol numbers began to drop. What seemed like a small adjustment became a cornerstone of her renewed health. The reason behind this is deeply scientific yet easy to understand. Oats are one of the richest sources of soluble fiber, especially a type called beta-glucan. This fiber forms a gel-like substance in the digestive tract, slowing down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream and preventing the sharp spikes and crashes that leave so many seniors feeling weak. At the same time, it binds to cholesterol particles, helping the body remove them naturally and lowering the risk of heart disease. Research from the Journal of Nutrition has shown that consuming at least 3 grams of beta-glucan daily, roughly the amount in one serving of oatmeal, can reduce LDL cholesterol by up to 10%. For an older adult, that difference can mean avoiding the progression of cardiovascular disease. Oats also provide B vitamins and magnesium, which are vital for maintaining muscle function, supporting nerve health, and protecting memory. Unlike sugary cereals or refined grains, they release energy gradually, offering calm and consistent fuel for both brain and body. That is why many nutritionists call oatmeal the breakfast of longevity. The practical action is simple. Begin the day with a half cup of rolled oats cooked in water or milk, and add natural toppings such as blueberries, walnuts, or a touch of cinnamon. This small ritual not only nourishes the body, but also creates a comforting routine that grounds the day with stability. Choosing oats is not just about breakfast. It is about building resilience, protecting the heart, and embracing the gift of steady strength in the golden years. Number 2, sweet potatoes. Picture a kitchen on a crisp autumn evening in North Carolina. The oven door opens, and a tray of roasted sweet potatoes glows with golden edges, steam rising gently, filling the room with warmth and a scent that feels like comfort itself. For many American families, this scene is more than food. It is tradition, memory, and nourishment passed through generations. Yet beyond nostalgia, sweet potatoes carry a remarkable power to support health in ways science is only beginning to fully appreciate. Unlike ordinary white potatoes, sweet potatoes are naturally rich in beta-carotene, a powerful antioxidant that the body converts into vitamin A. This nutrient protects vision, strengthens the immune system, and helps skin remain resilient as it ages. In fact, a single medium sweet potato provides more than 400% of the daily recommended intake of vitamin A, an astonishing gift from nature packed into one humble root. For seniors, who often face gradual vision decline or weakened immunity, this is not just food, it is a form of gentle protection. Sweet potatoes also offer potassium, which balances blood pressure, reduces strain on the heart, and prevents dangerous spikes that so often lead to strokes. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that diets high in potassium-rich foods lowered the risk of cardiovascular disease by nearly 20% in older adults. Combined with their high fiber content, sweet potatoes slow digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and reduce inflammation, all of which are key in managing the challenges of aging. But beyond the data lies the emotional truth. Food is memory. In communities across the American South, sweet potatoes appear on holiday tables not only as a side dish, but as a symbol of gathering, gratitude, and endurance. For seniors, preparing a simple dish of roasted sweet potatoes with a drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkle of cinnamon can be more than nutrition. It can be a reminder of tradition, of family, of belonging. Choosing sweet potatoes regularly is a choice for both heart and soul. They deliver vitamins, minerals, and fiber that protect the body, while also carrying the warmth of history and comfort. A plate filled with their natural sweetness is not just nourishment. It is a quiet promise of strength, memory, and joy in the years still to come. Number 3, brown rice and quinoa. Whole grains can add years to your life, declared researchers at Harvard in a landmark study that followed more than 118,000 people over 3 decades. The results were stunning. Those who consumed more whole grains, such as brown rice and quinoa, had up to a 20% lower risk of premature death compared to those who relied on refined grains like white rice. For seniors, this statistic is not just a number on a page. It is a profound reminder that the grains chosen for dinner can shape not only health but also longevity. Brown rice and quinoa may look simple, Yet inside each grain lies a powerhouse of nutrients that protect aging bodies. They are naturally high in magnesium, a mineral essential for muscle and nerve function, and B vitamins, which support brain health and energy metabolism. Unlike white rice, which digests quickly and spikes blood sugar, brown rice and quinoa release energy slowly, keeping levels steady and reducing the roller coaster of fatigue that so many older adults experience after meals. The benefits extend beyond energy. The fiber found in these grains nurtures gut health, reducing inflammation and lowering cholesterol. In seniors, this is especially important because chronic inflammation accelerates conditions like arthritis, heart disease, and even memory decline. A bowl of brown rice or quinoa, therefore, does not just fill the stomach, it feeds the microbiome, strengthens the heart, and guards the mind. Consider the story of a retired teacher from California who replaced her evening portion of white rice with quinoa. Within months, her blood sugar stabilized, her digestion improved, and she reported sharper focus during her volunteer work with children. Her small dietary change became a powerful tool in preserving her independence and vitality. In American culture, rice has long symbolized comfort. Yet making the switch to brown rice or exploring quinoa can transform that comfort into health. The preparation is simple. 1 cup of quinoa cooks in just 15 minutes, and brown rice, though it takes longer, offers nutty flavor and hearty satisfaction. For seniors, the practical step is clear. Replace refined grains with whole grains like brown rice and quinoa. The science is undeniable, the cultural ties remain strong, and the reward is nothing less than more years lived with strength, clarity, and joy. Number 4, legumes, beans, and lentils. What if there were a single food that could keep the heart strong, sharpen memory, ease digestion, and even help maintain independence well into the golden years? For many seniors, this sounds like a dream. Yet science shows that legumes, beans, lentils, and chickpeas come remarkably close to fulfilling that wish. These humble foods, long present in kitchens across America, from southern black-eyed peas to New England baked beans, are far more than a side dish. They are a key to healthy aging. Legumes provide a rare combination of plant-based protein and complex carbohydrates that release energy slowly, keeping blood sugar steady throughout the day. This is critical for seniors, as blood sugar fluctuations are closely tied to fatigue, mood changes, and long-term risks, such as type 2 diabetes. A single cup of lentils contains about 15 grams of fiber and 18 grams of protein, offering both satiety and strength without the heavy load of red meat or processed foods. Beyond energy, legumes are champions for the heart and brain. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed legumes at least 4 times a week lowered their risk of heart disease by 22%. The soluble fiber in beans helps reduce cholesterol, while their folate content protects cognitive function, slowing memory decline. In a culture where dementia and heart disease are among the greatest fears of aging, legumes provide a simple, delicious line of defense. The story of a grandmother in Texas illustrates this truth. After being diagnosed with high cholesterol, she began replacing half of her meat portions with beans and lentils. Within 6 months, not only did her cholesterol drop significantly, but she also felt lighter, more energetic, and less dependent on medication. A small change became a gift that allowed her to keep gardening, cooking for her grandchildren, and living life with joy. Incorporating legumes is practical and deeply satisfying. A warm bowl of lentil soup on a chilly evening, a hearty bean chili at a family gathering, or a chickpea salad for lunch brings nourishment as well as comfort. These foods are not just fuel, they are a reminder that health and pleasure can sit together at the same table. For seniors who dream of maintaining strength, clarity, and independence, the path is simpler than imagined. Let beans and lentils become a regular part of the plate. The dream of healthy aging is not distant. It can begin today, one bowl at a time. Number 5, berries. Picture 2 seniors living in the same town. One enjoys a small handful of blueberries or strawberries each morning with breakfast, while the other reaches for cookies or candy to satisfy a craving for something sweet. At first glance, Their choices may seem trivial, but over time, the difference becomes striking. The first carries an air of energy, clear memory, and steady mood, while the second begins to experience fatigue, forgetfulness, and a decline in overall health. What separates them is not just willpower, but the remarkable protective power of berries. Berries are nature's sweet gift, packed with antioxidants, vitamins, and fiber. Unlike processed sweets, they deliver natural sugars slowly, avoiding dangerous spikes in blood glucose. This matters greatly for seniors, since blood sugar control directly influences energy levels, heart health, and even how quickly the brain ages. Harvard researchers have found that older adults who ate at least 2 servings of blueberries or strawberries each week delayed cognitive aging by up to 2.5 years compared to those who rarely consumed them. That is not just a statistic, it is a glimpse into the possibility of extending mental sharpness and independence. The benefits of berries extend beyond the brain. Their high levels of anthocyanins, the compounds that give them their rich colors, reduce inflammation and improve circulation. This protects the heart and joints, easing two of the most common struggles in the senior years. Fiber in berries also supports digestion, keeping the gut healthy, which scientists now recognize as a cornerstone of overall well-being. A story often told by nutritionists is of a retired teacher from Florida who began adding half a cup of blueberries to her diet every morning. After several months, she not only noticed improved focus when reading and doing puzzles, but also a newfound steadiness in her energy throughout the day. She felt more alive, and her doctor observed healthier cholesterol levels. It was a small habit that made a profound difference. Choosing berries daily is both a pleasure and a prescription for vitality. Replacing sugary snacks with blueberries, raspberries, or blackberries brings sweetness without harm, joy without regret. For seniors seeking to walk through their later years with a sharper mind, a lighter step, and a brighter spirit, the choice is clear. Between cookies and berries, the path to graceful aging lies in the bowl of fruit that carries both flavor and life. My dear friend, what we've uncovered today is more than a lesson about food, it is a lesson about life itself. Carbohydrates have been with us for generations. They sit at our tables, woven into family traditions and memories of comfort. Yet the truth is undeniable. Not all carbs honor the body as it ages. Some, like white bread, sugary cereals, pastries, sodas, and refined grains, quietly erode our strength, cloud our minds, and weaken the legs that carry our independence. They promise energy but deliver decline. We heard the stories of people who lived this reality, like the woman whose white bread habit led to fatigue and blurred vision, and the man whose daily sodas ended in diabetes and lost vitality. But within every challenge lies a choice. Others took a different path and found renewal. The retired teacher who switched to whole grain bread rediscovered steady energy. The grandmother who replaced sugary cereal with oats and berries regained her focus and joy. The gentleman who let go of soda and chose water felt life return to his body. Their experiences are not just stories, they are proof that transformation is possible at any age. Science affirms it too. Oats, sweet potatoes, quinoa, beans, lentils, and berries are not simply foods. They are medicine. They protect the heart, steady blood sugar, fuel the muscles, and preserve memory. They are small, daily choices that add up to something profound. More strength, more freedom, more years lived with clarity and dignity. And so the lesson is simple yet powerful. Every meal you eat is a decision about the life you want to live tomorrow. Will you choose the carbs that harm or the ones that heal? That choice is yours, and it begins today. Now I turn the question to you. What change will you make starting right now to protect your health and independence? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your words may inspire someone else to take their first step toward renewal. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe right now so you never miss the guidance, inspiration, and life-changing lessons we bring each week. Stay with us, explore our other videos, and discover the simple but powerful steps that can help you live not only longer, but stronger and more joyful years ahead. Thank you for watching. May your new day be filled with clarity, strength, and every blessing your heart desires.